Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Griego and I have a very special guest with me today. Sway Calloway, or as we know him as Sway, is here in the studio. Oakland native, and you're bringing a really cool festival to the city.
Absolutely. How you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for coming by.
Absolutely. Come on, I grew up on KPIX.
You did?
Yes, everybody. I'm from the Bay. I'm from Oakland.
Yes.
I used to work right here. 106 Cameo was just down the street.
Okay.
From this Battery Street location, just 2 blocks down. I used to work in the Mission at UPS. I used to load flatbed trucks for a couple of years. I worked in the meatpacking district. I used to actually deliver ocean seafood products to downtown Chinatown. So this is home.
Bay Area
Bay
native.
Area.
Well,
it's real Bay.
Welcome home.
Yes.
You know, you do live on the East Coast now, but you come back. You come back, what, once a month?
I come back once a month. I have a beautiful, powerful 107-year-old grandmother.
It's amazing.
Georgia Brown in East Oakland, and my magnificent, amazing grandmother on my mother's side, Elsie Waters. I try to come back and, just give them energy and, pay tribute to the elders in my family, and I think that's important. And it's also important for me to come back to Oakland in general because this is where my roots are, which why it was important for us to do this festival, in Oakland.
Yeah.
It's not the typical festival. It's actually the first time two of the companies I work with is Pandora and Sirius XM. And this is one of the first times we're actually doing a joint effort merger project with this Sway Fest, and being that Pandora is in Oakland, it just made sense. And for me, it's all about keeping people inspired. A lot of folks know me from the Bay Area, and they may have seen a lot of the work we've done. And all that work that we do is just really to inspire people who came up in Northern California or grew up in similar situations. So this festival is a celebration. It's bringing community together through music culture. I asked a few of my friends. We didn't reach out to everybody just yet. This is the first of many. And so this is the first one off the ground, and it's just going to be a celebration. I got G-Eazy coming by.
Who's a
Come
Bay
on,
Area
G-Eazy,
native too.
Oakland
G-Eazy,
native.
we love him.
Okay, this dude has created a lane for himself independently in the spirit of what we do in Northern California. We figured things out. And G-Eazy, I watched him go on tour with Drake, where he was an opening act, and then he became a headlining act on his own tour. Kamaya is another artist that's performing out of Oakland. This young woman also did things independently on herself, carved her own lane, gave the world an insight to just Bay Area culture, and has been very successful touring and putting out music. She's a young queen. I wanted to have her on the show, Mr. FAB. He's just a Bay Area pillar, always toes down in the community, whether he's doing backpack giveaways, food giveaways, or creating safe spaces for kids to come and create and feel comfortable about who they are and in their skin. That's what Mr. FAB does.
And one of my favorites.
I knew you was trying to, you would say, well,
One of my favorites. Do you know who it is?
Sheila E.
Thank you. Love her and her family.
Sheila E. and her family are national treasures. From her bloodline is just, it should be, right?
Just uber talented.
Uber talented. And I saw Sheila E. She was in New York at Sirius XM. Shout out to my Sirius XM family and Shade 45 family. And right then and there, I asked her, do you mind? Would you mind coming to Sway Fest? Like, if you could just bless the stage, But if you happen to bring some percussions,
that would be great.
And she got a new single with Snoop. Maybe something else could happen, But I would love to honor you and you be a part of this inaugural event. And she agreed to do it. And I couldn't be more thrilled. That's an icon. Glamorous life. Come on.
Come on now.
Come on. What was your favorite?
I think Glamour. I don't know. I've had so many favorites, but you know what? I will tell you, her tribute to Prince, by far the best thing I've ever seen.
Absolutely. She should have been one of the few people to do that. Because only she could do it the way she did it, and she knew him on a whole nother level. I got a chance to interview her on our Sway in the Morning show, and she gave us some real intimate, dynamics between she and Prince, and that I thought was just, I treasured the information that she would even share about him.
Well, they share that true love and also that true love of music. So
Absolutely.
That's what I love about it. You have so many friends in the music business because you've been doing this for a long time in broadcasting and also involved with music. But it was really important for you to bring artists that were from the Bay Area.
Absolutely. And not only that, I want to just, you probably gotten to this point Michelle, you've had so much success in your career, and I'm sure you have a lot of young women that approach you, or just young people in general that are inspired by you. And to me, there's no more gratifying feeling than that. You know, we have my partner, King Tech, who's from the Bay. That's how I started. It's always been a partnership, Sway and Tech. And when we got on KMEL, prior to that, we were artists performing and trying to chase the same dreams that these young kids are chasing. And a lot of people slammed doors in our faces because we were from the Bay. And at that time, the music business was centralized in New York, so it was harder to break. I always vowed that if I got in a position to create opportunity for others to take advantage of, whether I enjoyed their music or not, if their intent was there and they did the work, I'm going to provide that platform for them. So this is just another example of that, us providing a platform for people to be inspired, but also in Northern California, especially Oakland, when I come home, it's almost like a tale of two cities. You know, you got some people who are really benefiting off the tech boom that's taking place here in the Bay Area, especially Oakland, and then you got the others who aren't. And a lot of those folks are people who grew up native to Oakland, indigenous to Oakland, and they're not being allowed to participate in the profits and the gains that are coming from this new movement that's happening. You see the homeless that are over there as well. And so I'm coming home every month and I'm seeing people kind of like, the morale can be down sometimes, but we're such a prideful people. And sometimes we need reminders that all that pride and that faith, you know, takes effort. We got to put work in. And so all of us should be rays of lights, and you're a ray of light. I'm trying to be a ray of light, and that's what Sway Fest is really all about.
Sway, you are a ray of light. Let me just tell you that.
Michelle G.
Michelle G. I
That's
like
your
that.
hip-hop name.
So, okay, all right, I'll take that. We do have a special video. It's a surprise video from somebody you know and somebody who thinks you are a ray of light, too. This is Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf. So do you want to watch this video?
What's up, Libby? Yes.
I know. Let's watch it.
Congratulations on Oakland's first ever Sway Fest. Listen, as your mayor, when I need a pick-me-up, I listen to Sway in the morning on KMEL. And so, Sway, thank you for making our hometown, because you know I'm born and raised here too, the center of the hip-hop universe. Have a great Sway Fest on behalf of your mayor, Libby Schaaf.
Wow, Libby Schaaf said hip hop. What did she say?
She said Oakland is the center of hip hop.
Wow, that's
that you're
great.
helping make that happen.
Thank you, Mayor Schaaf. I appreciate you for that sentiment. And the mayor's office made it real smooth for us to get the permits that is required in order for us to do this event, because the event is outside.
It's like a block party,
It's a
right?
block party, and it's free. So if you're a Bay Area resident, you could come see all these live performances for free. And so the mayor's office made it possible for us to do that in an easier way. So I appreciate her even taking the time out to do that. You know
what I always like to say? If it's free, it's for me.
It's for you. I know. That's why we made it free, so you could show up.
I'm there. I am there. October 18th,
yes,
right?
Yes, Friday morning.
You know, you were talking about the inspiration of young people. So talk about the foundation and some of the organizations involved with this.
Two of them that I've actually watched the work. You know, I've watched them work over a decade. I watched them. When I say watch you work, it's one thing to advertise the work or promote the work, but it's another thing to see people actually doing the work. And I've seen them do the work. I've seen the Choose College Education Foundation. I've seen them create avenues and resources for and methods to inspire kids to seek out higher learning and education even beyond the school grounds, and why education is important and how education helps enlighten you and broaden your world. And one of the events I actually participated in over the years is Super Saturday, where we create an assembly and we invite local artists. Mr. FAB, matter of fact, did one with us. An artist by the name of Lil B did one with us. Some city officials will come out and talk to kids. And in the meanwhile, you have booths from different junior colleges and tech colleges from all over the Bay Area, or four-year institutions that are offering and providing information for kids to get loans or grants or whatever they need to go to college. The other one, Congo Square West Kinship Society, is something that teaches cultural awareness and the importance of it and the value of it. And it inspires people to really get in tune with their heritage. So where did you come from? A lot of folks like to forget the past, but I think there's a lot of great code in the past. We learn from the past so we don't repeat the same mistakes, but you can also find value in the past. If you know if your great-great-great-grandfather was I don't know. What's your ethnicity?
I'm Latina.
You're Latina, okay. So your great-great-great-grandfather could have been an explorer or an inventor or a doctor that created a serum that helps, cure a disease.
Sure.
You may not know that. And so what this society does is encourages people to get in tune with their heritage and create these and build these bridges so folks come together. We might learn something about your history that might be similar to mine, and we find out we might even be related. You never know. And in that is power, because then that creates a larger network for you to just continue that growth, elevate your community and elevate your family. So both of these organizations have been very toes down in the community, and I admire them for it. And we want to put a spotlight on them for their efforts. And so that's why we're honoring them.
Well, Sway, I admire the work that you do. Let's talk Oakland real quick,
Okay.
because, Oakland, like you were talking about all the changes, we always talk about gentrification when it comes to San Francisco. It's happening in Oakland, too. Now you have the Raiders leaving Oakland.
Oh, that hurts.
Golden State Warriors crossed the
Yeah.
bridge, and now they're in San Francisco. What do you think about all that?
Well, that's what I want to talk to the mayor about. Thanks for that shout out. What are we doing?
Now let's get down to
What's
business.
the plan? Like, what's going? I don't listen. With the Warriors coming to San Francisco, being an Oakland native, obviously, I have some bias. But San Francisco and Oakland are siblings, so the Warriors
true.
are still in the Bay.
Right.
So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay, and so
Golden
congratulations.
State.
It's still Golden State.
Yeah.
You guys go ahead and pay those excessive prices for those seats so you can watch them
boy.
play and find parking.
Good luck.
The
Mass
Oakland,
transit.
are the Oakland Athletics leaving?
It's still up in the air, but hopefully not.
So that was true? I heard that was a rumor.
They're still trying to work everything out.
Wow. So the Raiders are going to Vegas.
Raiders are in Vegas. A's still kind of up in the air.
So I think we have to really, what are our alternatives? What is the plan B? Because that's a lot of revenue that's being lost
Right.
by the city. How do we compensate for that loss? How is that going to affect us? These are a lot of questions that people are concerned about and worried about. I know a lot of people who worked in those stadiums, who worked at the Oracle.
For years
For
and
years,
years.
yeah. What are we going to do about that? It's already, with the tech industry coming in, it's hard enough for people to break into that industry unless you have the proper skills, if you got the... if you had the proper training. So I kind of want to know, what are the plans? I come home, I see a lot of folks on the streets. What are the plans? There's a lot of people being forced out of Oakland. What is the plan? And do people have to stop really truly relying on local officials, and how do we as a community come together and create immediate plans for our immediate circumstances? These are the kind of ways I think, Michelle, don't get me started. We'll start a revolution up in here.
All right. It starts right here.
Starts right here.
Well, Sway, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
by.
I appreciate you. You do excellent work. I see you all the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I
Absolutely.
appreciate all the work that you do. Remember, Sway Fest, it is presented by SiriusXM and Pandora, and of course, Sway Calloway. Sway Fest, it's named after you.
Yeah, they named it after me.
There you go.
Shout out to my grandmothers, my family, my daughter, Kiyomi, Kelly Kincaid, my team at SiriusXM, Shade 45, my videographer, Ty, and everybody here.
That's awesome.
And
Thanks
Christina.
so much.
All right.